Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Bianca and I love to create speed builds in The Sims 4. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe. This week I wanted to try something a little different and create a treehouse micro home using a few build tricks I've learned recently. This home is fully functional and enjoys the benefits of a tier 1 micro home, which includes lower builds, relationships, plants, and skills double the rate of their growth, as well as your Sims tend to be a bit happier, inspired, and focused more often. Here you can see me working on the structure of the build. I wanted to create the illusion that the house is resting or supported by a cluster of trees, which are very conveniently located at the back of the lot. The placement is sometimes a little tricky because the branches tend to clip into the building, but the easiest way to work around this is by holding down the Alt key and adjusting the tree with the free rotation. Or you can lower or raise the foundation of the room to sit more snugly on the trees and I guess the trunk part. This does take a little bit of patience, but eventually we get there. You'll notice that I also wanted to add pillars to support the house, which I think creates a bit more of a realistic feel to the structure. With tiny homes, I always try to keep the tile count window open, as you can see on the left hand side. I know it does obstruct the view a little bit, but I tend to get a little bit carried away when I build, so I'd rather know where I'm at tile wise rather than love the build or the structure I've created and I'm 20 tiles over where I should be. I wanted to create a modern country feel in this build. In my mind, this is probably a newer build by a Sim who's recently jumped onto the tiny living bandwagon and isn't quite ready to commit to the rustic cabin renovation just yet. I kept the roof really simple because, well, we all know I'm not the best roofer, but I think it suits the build and emphasizes the cute little country vibe that I was going for. I landed up choosing the Shake It Up tiles from Base Game. In my mind, these actually look a little bit reclaimed rather than new, and I think this ties in well with the whole concept of tiny living and streamlining what you own or the waste that you create. Thanks to modern technology, you will not see me adjusting the roof or retrying the staircase probably about 10,000 different times. Eventually I settled on the sleek closed rails from Base Game. I'm really enjoying Base Game build mode items at the moment. Maybe not bide mode as much, but definitely the build mode. All the other staircases just seem too fussy and complicated, and I think this just adheres to the modern, sleek, country but still cute vibe. Window wise, my first instinct was to use the Seasons windows, and then I changed my mind and then I changed it back again, which just comes to show when building in The Sims your first instinct tends to be your best. I unfortunately have to square off the right hand side corner of this build. Only later did I discover that you need the quarter tile on either side of the Murphy bed for your Sims to gain access to it. The layout in this build is really interesting, to say the least. I wanted to have a fullish kitchen, a living area that could convert into a bedroom, a workspace, as well as a full bathroom. I'm not particularly a huge fan of the concept of sharing the sink with the bathroom and the kitchen, so 2 separate plumbing areas were actually kind of vital in my mind for this build. Color palette wise, I wanted to keep the space light and airy with pops of color for personality. I love the parenthood countertops and I think they're the perfect theme for this kind of style of home. So moving on into the bathroom, thank goodness for the Discovery University showers. They work so well in tiny bathrooms to create wet areas. Rather than taking up a whole 2 tiles, they kind of only take up half, I'd say. Again, my focus in this area was to create the illusion of space. So here I chose the grey and white mosaic tiles from Get Together. These tiles create a point of interest without looking too messy. You can see me adding a few decor clutter items to make the space look lived in. And I've only recently started remembering to put the loo roll in. Oops. For a point of difference, I actually decided to put wood paneling in the bathroom to match the outside of the house. I kind of like the idea that it almost is a take on a modern outhouse by bringing outside in. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, the best way to explain it is the bathroom in Shrek. Moving into the kitchen. I love the simple color palettes in the kitchen. The reason being is I've always maintained it's easier to change the accessories than the actual joinery in a kitchen. So this is why I like to keep the joinery neutral, and then you can accent with different colors of kettles and that kind of thing as your season changes or as your sim changes as well. Here you can see me popping in open cabinets above the counters to show the maximization of space. I really love the different types of cabinets, but I cannot stand why the tall cabinets, or the one with the lots of shelves, is not the same width as all the others. So what I do is you can see me overlaying a short cabinet over the top of the long cabinet, and that creates a streamlined effect with the top of the cabinets all carrots. The cabinets all oh dear, all the cabinets match up at the top. That sink is actually fully functional under the long cabinets. My sim irritatingly uses it as a counter as well, but it definitely functions as a sink, and that is good enough for me. You can see me adding a few debug clutter items, and voila, simple functional kitchen area. In the lounge/bedroom area, I took inspiration from the Murphy bed swatches, settling on the creamy white sofa with a burnt orange shelf. Burnt orange is not a color I use actually ever, but I liked how it warmed up the space, so I thought I'd give it a try. I tried to play around with the placement of the TV unit. My aim was to do is to create a zone of bedroom and lounge rather than the entire apartment being that. So I added in a wall, making the area more cozy and also defining the space while simultaneously creating a tiny little study nook. Here you can see me trying to introduce more color, which isn't really my go-to. I tend to stick to a very neutral palette, but I've been trying to push myself to give my homes a bit more personality rather than apply the same formula to every single build. Moving on to that small little study nook shortly, you'll basically see that I try to keep this clutter to a real minimum with a laptop, a light, I think tissues and a plant. Reason being is I didn't want to overcomplicate the space so it would feel claustrophobic. I wanted this to be a pleasant little work area. But with the laptop function, she can now take the laptop wherever she wants to go. I really tried to have colors on the walls for this build, but alas, the white walls won again. You don't see it, but I think I tried about 20 different swatches. At the moment, I'm already planning a future build, so probably about 4 builds ahead of everybody. And I have high hopes that I can pull off colored walls. Window treatment wise, yes, you guys can be just as shocked as I am. Most of you know that I actually really don't like window treatments. I tend to avoid them as much as possible, but I wanted to soften the space and create an illusion of privacy, and just to frame the main view of the tree house. Again, I know I almost forgot a bin again. Oh dear, I promise I will get better at remembering it. I had another look at the exterior of the property and realized that the structure actually looked a little bit flimsy. Now I know in The Sims nothing can actually happen to them, but I wanted to reiterate the support of the build by adding more pillars that actually blend into the tree trunks. Now I realize I mentioned earlier that I thought this was a newer build, but suspension of reality, it could happen in nature, so maybe it's just happening on an accelerated rate or something like that. I added flower boxes to soften the window treatments, and those weird stump things. If anyone knows the actual name, please comment below. I always think of them as house pimples, like it's a bit weird. With landscaping, there is currently a glitch in the game where if you try to place objects close to the perimeter or too close to the foundations of a build, they snap to the grid in the wrong place. So I decided to move the build a little bit inwards to the center, but still offset it to the left. For the landscaping, I wanted the property to again blend in with its woodland surroundings. So you'll see me add lots of wildflowers, grasses, shrubs and rocks to add texture and contrast. Off camera, I did place a veggie patch under the trees to allow your sim to earn an income by working the land. Recently there's been a bit of talk in the Sims community that the Sims is actually releasing a farming pack, and I am all here for it. I always develop my gardening and cooking skills first, I think ever since I started playing the game. Back to the landscaping though, you'll see that I actually place multiple items of the same either plant, rock or grass. What I do to create a point of difference is to upsize or downsize using the open and close bracket key to create almost like a natural occurrence of repetition rather than something that looks monotonous and sort of computer created and generated, even though this is exactly what it is. I apologize for the rainy weather that is about to come up. I had to move my sim in to playtest the home, and she basically brought the spring rains with her. And with that, I have uploaded this build into the gallery so you can download it into your game. My ID can be found in the description below. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun creating it. If you'd like to receive notifications when I upload my next build, be sure to like, subscribe and click that bell icon on your screen. As always, thank you for spending your time with me, and I will see you all next time. Bye!